This is a Soul Hit production.
We are privileged to have our own dance ambassadors to perform the spiritual Wade in the Water.
Hello, my name is Aaron Brown, and I will be doing a piece of poetry for you today. And on the program it says I would be doing a piece called I Am Me, but something came upon me and told me that I should do this new piece that I wrote, and it's called Lies. I'm doing this piece because lies, they seem to be the tool that people use to break dreams, and so we have to avoid that. So here we go. Pseudo-facts cause a reaction that seems to cause a diffraction of all the light that we see in an anonymous fashion. But behind the closed doors, they start the fights and the wars that distorts the conception between what's mine and what's yours. I see in their eyes, but do not see through the skies, and so I listen to the words, and that's a word from the wise. While I try to survive inside this world of the wild, I say nobody can judge me, but they put me on trial. Though the fear may abide inside the ocean of lies, like the moon with the tide, through the struggle I rise. Through the lies I rise. Lies. They don't add up in this equation. The variables been changing all the things that they were saying. It's just mathematics, leaving us breathless till we all become some asthmatics. Creating lies and they turn it into bad habits and turn around and pray about it like the Black Sabbath with no cabbage. There's no money, and now the days ain't sunny. And when it comes to it, ain't a dang thing funny. And ain't nobody laughing between the lies, and besides, man, we all crashing. You wave your finger at me like you're dancing old fashioned, but still I love you through the lies with the old passion, long lasting forever. The lies was never keeping us together. The lies tear us apart, and the truth will make it better. And honestly, I'ma be with you through whatever, but every time you lie, bro, my blood is getting redder. Lies.
I'm happy to join with you today in what will go down in history as the greatest demonstration for freedom in the history of our nation. 50 years ago, a great American in whose symbolic shadow we stand today signed the Emancipation Proclamation. This monumentous decree came as a great beacon of light to millions of Negro slaves who had been seared in the flames of withering injustice. It came as a joyous daybreak to the end of their long night of their captivity. But 100 years later, the Negro still is not free. 100 years later, the life of the Negro is still sadly crippled by the manacles of segregation and the chains of discrimination. 100 years later, the Negro lives on a lonely island of poverty in the midst of a vast ocean of material prosperity. 100 years later, the Negro is still languishing in the corners of American society and finds himself in exile in his own land. So we've come here today to dramatize a shameful condition. In a sense, we've come to our nation's capital to cash a check. When the architects of our republic wrote the magnificent words of the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence, they were signing a promissory note to which every American was to fall heir. This note was a promise that all men, yes, black men as well as white men, would be guaranteed the unalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. It is obvious that America has defaulted on this promissory note insofar as her citizens of color are concerned. Instead of honoring this sacred obligation, America has given the Negro people back a bad check, a check which has come back marked insufficient funds. But we refuse to believe that the Bank of Justice is bankrupt. We refuse to believe that there are insufficient funds in the great and the security of justice. We have also come to this hallowed spot to remind America of the fierce urgency of now. This is no time to engage in the luxury of cooling off or to take the tranquilizing drug of gradualism. Now is the time to make the real promise of democracy. Now is the time to rise from the dark and desolate valley of segregation into the sunlit path of racial justice. Now is the time to lift our nation from the quicksands of racial injustice to the solid rock of brotherhood. Now is the time to make justice a reality for all of God's children. We must forever conduct our struggle on the high plane of dignity and discipline. We must not allow our creative protest to degenerate into physical violence. Again and again, we must rise to the magnificent, majestic heights of any physical force of soul force. The marvelous new militancy which has engulfed the Negro community must not lead us to distrust of all white people. Many of our white brothers, as evidenced by their presence here today, have come to realize that their destiny is tied with our destiny. They have come to realize that their freedom is inextricably bound to our freedom. We cannot walk alone. I'm not unmindful that some of you have come here out of great trials and tribulations. Some of you have come here from narrow jail cells. Some of you have come here from areas where your quest for freedom left you berated by the storms of persecution and sagged by the winds of police brutality. You have been the veterans of creative suffering. Continue to work with the faith that unearned suffering is redemptive. Go back to Mississippi. Go back to Alabama. Go back to South Carolina. Go back to Georgia. Go back to Louisiana. Go back to the slums and ghettos of our northern cities, knowing that somehow this situation can and will be changed. Let us not wallow in the valley of despair. I say to you today, my friends, so even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream. It is a dream deeply rooted in Americans' dream. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal. I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, the sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will be able to stir down together and at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream that one day even the state of Mississippi, a state sweltering with the heat of injustice, sweltering the heat of oppression, will be transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice. I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today. I have a dream today that one day down in Alabama, with its vicious racists, with its governor having his lips dripping with the words of interposition and nullification, one day, right there in Alabama, little black boys and black girls will be able to join hands with little white boys and white girls as sisters and brothers. I have a dream today. I have a dream that one day every valley shall be exalted, every hill and mountain shall be made low, the rough places will be made plain, and the crooked places will be made straight. And the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together. This is our hope. This is the faith that I go back to the South with. With this faith, we will be able to hew out of the mountain of despair a stone of hope. With this faith, we will be able to transform the jangling discords of our nation into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood. With this faith, we will be able to work together, to pray together, to struggle together, to go to jail together, to stand up for freedom together, knowing that we will be free one day. And if America is to be great, the nation, that this must become true. So let freedom ring from the prodigious hilltops of New Hampshire. Let freedom from the mighty mountains of New York. Let freedom ring from the Alleghenies of Pennsylvania. Let freedom ring from the snow-capped Rockies of Colorado. Let freedom ring from the curvaceous slopes of California. But not only that, let freedom ring from Stone Mountain of Georgia. Let freedom ring from the Lookout Mountain of Tennessee. Let freedom ring from every hill and molehill of Mississippi. From every mountainside, let freedom ring. And when this happens, we will allow freedom to ring. We will let it ring from every village and every hamlet, from every state and every city. We will be able to speed up that day when all of God's children, black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, will be able to join hands and sing the words of the old Negro spiritual, free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, we are free at last.
Thank you. When we met in the club the past several weeks, especially after the inauguration, we wanted to revisit Dr. King's dream. Even our president made some allusions to the speech, and Tyler's reading, we know that it's a very involved speech, but he felt that with our discussions and the things that we discussed, that he wanted to read it in most of its entirety and remind us of what the dream is. We want to just have you keep in mind that not only are we looking at Dr. King's dream, which has given us and laid out a plan that we can look forward to, but we're thinking of how we can fulfill that dream and how we are the dream carriers. How we are not only dream carriers, but that we are dreamers. So we're hoping that you will look at the things of the poems and the activities that the students have put forth, that you will keep in mind that we are the dream, right? We're going to welcome back the NC Dance Ambassadors.
Hello, I'm Keela McKee, and today I'm going to tell you about my poem. It's called The Dream It Seemed. At first, I had a poem that we discussed in Black History Club, but Coach Tucker seemed to think that it was so nasty and mean feeling. So I changed it, so hopefully you guys like it. Can you kill the dream when you've killed the dreamer? To give another dreamer a dream? So you tell me to back down from what I'm destined to be? Slowly but surely, understanding my past, understanding the meaning of struggle to its fullest ability. Reluctant, some may be, to realize or to know that someone died so I could live a better life. Quit now, you say? My success is on the way. I will avert those who try to stop my mark on Black history. They once said I was to be this, but I was even better than that. I am the lady that God allows me to be. Openly and willingly letting my success, letting my experience from the present change who I am and change the future. Thank you.
All right, so you know, I don't know if you know this, but Ms. Jones and I are not only sponsors, but our daily job is that we are teachers. And, yay! And love our job. And so we wouldn't want you to feel as though you were just, we want you to get, the best for your money. And so we have a little project for you. We have been talking to the students about, the past and how we can learn from the past. We've talked about how the past has impacted the present and how we can still see remnants of the past in our present, but we also want to encourage them with the future. So, as the screen's coming down, and I'm moving off the stage, we actually have a PowerPoint here, and we want to just it's more of a photo essay. And just want to bring up some images and some things that have been said that reflect the past, the present, and help you to think about the future. And then when we finish, you will have an assignment. Because we want to have something that we want our students to see. We want our students to see that the community is involved in this, that we're not just saying, your generation needs to change things, your generation needs to do things differently, but that it is a joint effort from all generations, from all backgrounds, from all walks and ways of life. So we hope that you will enjoy this photo essay, give you some things to think about, so that following we'll have a brief discussion, and we're going to come up with an essential agreement. So we are looking forward to your input. Thank you. like to do at this time, I believe Ms. Jones is going to, we're going to put Ms. Jones to work. And one of the things that we do in the class is that we talk about the ideal environment. And for the classroom, it's the ideal learning environment. And we'd like to talk about the ideal environment, the things that we would like to see, and then the actions that we would like to see to fulfill this. So it's wonderful to have this grandiose idea of being dreamers and carrying out Dr. King's dream. But we'd like to talk about what are things that we would like to see and things that we would like to do to achieve that dream. And so I think we have Mrs. Charity Wheeler, who is going to come around with the mic. And what we'd like to do is come up with an essential agreement of what we as a community and what we can do as parents, as students, as doctors, lawyers, teachers, whoever that you are. We want to come up with an agreement of what we'll do to make the dream alive and to make sure that we're fulfilling that dream. So if you just want to raise your hand, students, teachers, parents.
I'll start it off since I'm going to pass the mic. One of the things, as she said, first of all, she stated my name is Charity, and hello to everyone. One of the things that I intend to do and have been doing and will continue to do is instill in my children, my two daughters that are in the audience, about their history and about goals and about what they need to do to make it in society. And they understand that things are not given to them on a silver platter, and you have to work for it. And so I'm going to instill education and their history within them. That's a start. Who's next? Who's going to help build this? Can't see. Okay. Okay, thank you. I wear glasses, but I can't see.
I would just say that these are all of our children, and a lot of times, especially as an educator, I see people say those kids, or pinpoint or make choices to stay away from other kids. But if we as a society and as a community realize that these are all of our kids all of the time, whether they're your blood relatives or not, they impact all of our communities. That would be my essential agreement, that they are all our kids.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
I would like to piggyback on that. I'm also an educator in IPS, and that's the first thing I was thinking of, is building a sense of community. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and I was fortunate to go really to, I know we probably think that's bad, but I went to neighborhood schools where I walked to school. And then black leaders in the community wanted us to have equal education, and so they bussed us out. And that broke up our community. My mother, who was a single parent of 4, she couldn't drive out to the PTA back then meetings. And so a sense of community is very important. And we lost that sense of community. And just knowing that it takes a village to raise a child, we don't have that anymore. Where in the school systems I see kids saying, who do you think you are talking to me like that? And just using profanity in the hallway, and I had to stop them every time, then they apologized, but we didn't do that. And we don't check our children enough because we're afraid they're going to turn around and curse us out, but we have to do that regardless. So a sense of community is very important, and working at Arsenal Tech High School, the parents, parents need to parent other parents and teach them how to be parents, because parents are just absent in high school. They're just not there. They think their children are grown in high school, and they're not. That's when they need us the most. So that's how I say that, especially for our community.
Exactly. Who else? Don't be shy. Okay, I'm coming, Francina.
As an educator and a parent myself, one of the things as a parent I found to be the most important is to support the school, not look at the school as an enemy, not look at the school as something to attack, but to really try to find a way to work with the school. even if you don't agree, figure out a way how to agree and walk away from that and learn from it. Also, as a parent, the best thing I can teach my 2 daughters is to respect, value, and appreciate education, because that's the one thing no one can ever take from you is your education. And what you don't respect, that's something you will never be able to have and never be able to grow. And when you learn to appreciate something and value it, it begins to grow in you, fester, and you can nurture other people. So anything you don't respect, value, or nurture, it will never grow, it will never blossom. And if you can just take education and respect it and know that it's something you can learn from it, I think our children will be better, our communities will be better, our world will be better.
Absolutely, and to piggyback on what Francita said, not only do they need to respect education, but they need to respect the ones that are educating them. And they have to realize that they have, the teachers, they have their education already, and that's what I tell my kids all the time. They have it. You need to get it. So you need to respect those that are giving it to you, and don't think, oh, that teacher's hard, or that teacher doesn't like me. Think about what you're doing in order to contribute to your education. So respect your educator, expect education. Who's next? They shouldn't have gave me the mic. And that's Kim Christie's sister. I'm sorry, was it you?
I think that we also should instill in our children, never give up. Quitter never wins and a winner never quits is what they need to remember. And also we need to instill in them self-confidence. You don't have to try to be like others to be accepted. Just be you and have confidence in you and love the person that God made.
Absolutely. God don't make a mistake. Who's next? I'm coming. I'm coming.
I think for my generation, we need to actually take advantage of the things that have given to us from the prior generations and the path that's been laid out for us, and actually take advantage of being able to get an education. So by taking advantage of getting an education, getting some more corporate offices and whatnot, and then give back to the community you came from.
Thank you. Absolutely. Any more?
Well, just to kind of piggyback off of what you said, there are so many opportunities that this generation is afforded that weren't afforded to us. So I always say that when we know better, we're able to do better. So we should learn from the mistakes and from the trials and tribulations of past generations, because this is our future. This room is filled with our future politicians and leaders. These are the people that are going to rule the world when our time is over. So we should just take pride in these young people and just be present, be a present force in their lives.
Thank you. Absolutely. Who's next? Okay.
I'll piggyback off of what she was saying. She talked about being a present force in their lives. Part of being a present force is living what we expect them to be. As we model, as we go forth, as we step up, as we achieve our dreams, our goals, our ambitions, the things that are within us, then yes, we are making a broader path, we are making an easier way, but we're also illuminating a way for them to be. So as we model it and then reach back and help them model who they are, not who we want them to be, but who they are on the inside, find out their uniqueness and help them fulfill that.
Excellent. Next. Come on, let's get that brain power working. How else can we encourage our kids and grow this community? Thank you, Aaron.
Hey, I'm Aaron. One thing that really helped me and that my dad did is he told me the truth, but not just the truth about life and how it works, but he told me the whole truth. Like, yeah, you can work and get good grades and everything will work out, but one thing that you got to tell them is how much work that takes, or else they're just going to end up thinking that it's too much work and they're just going to leave it down. And then you got to push us. You got to sometimes you got to inspire us, but you got to teach us how to inspire ourselves to do better in school and do better in our activities and really reach towards our goals. So I just thought that might be something to say.
That's very important. Thank you, Aaron.
Yes, okay. It sounds like I teach at North Central. I'm an English teacher. Some of you may have had me, I'm sorry. But one thing that I think is extremely important is, as I raise my son and with my niece who's 14 and my students, is that you have to go back to the basics. And some of those basics means a normal bedtime and a good meal and wake them up and say good morning and send them on their way. And I think I'm hearing that as a common strand throughout the comments. And you know, you got to go back to some of those very simple things and tell your kids you love them and put them to bed. And I think it makes a huge difference. It's a lot about a schedule. So,
Absolutely. Thank you. Come.
This is my son, Christian, who's 7.
I'll do my personal best.
Thank you for that commitment, and that's very important. Oh, go ahead.
I believe we need to have a support system in our lives because we can't do it by ourselves, and if we end up falling back, we need someone to help us push us and get us back on track.
Absolutely. That goes back to takes a village to raise a child, and inspiring, like Aaron just said. Next. Is your hand up? No. Okay. Any more students want to comment on what you need? A lot of times, if you don't communicate what you need, some parents may think they have it. And like the young lady said, we got to teach the parents, because our parents, unfortunately, are getting younger and younger. But what do you students think you need? As Aaron said, you need encouragement, you need to be inspired. What, as a student, do you need in order to make it?
I think as a student, and any student in general, needs a positive role model in their life to lead them on the right path for what they would like to do in the future.
Awesome. And I may be taking this way too far, Chrissy, so you should tell Charity to shut up. But as students, as she stated, you need positive role models. Do you students have any mentors in your life? If it's not your parent, do you know who you can go to as a mentor? Teacher, pastor, friend? How many students have a mentor that they can go to? I see a few hands. Okay. So I would encourage you, if you don't have a mentor, you need to find a teacher, find a parent, find a pastor, find a youth pastor, find someone in your life, aunt, uncle, whoever that person may be, to be a mentor, and ask them, tell them, hey, I need a mentor, I need help because I'm not getting it here. I need to get it from somebody. Anybody else? Chrissy, you done?
Hey, thank you. Give yourselves a hand. It's one thing for Ms. Jones and I in our club meetings to talk about these things. It's another thing for them to hear it from you and to actually have things that we can actually put into place. And I want to tell you that we are going to take this essential agreement. We're going to look it over real well, because we're saying this is what we commit to. And not just the students, but we, the support system, this is what we're going to commit to. And actually, we will finish typing this up, and we will display this in our display case so that students are reminded. And it's not just about Black history, but it's about making the dream for everyone in our environment, in our atmosphere, for everyone to be able to dream. Did you have something else you wanted to add? Yes.
I did. Just one more thing. No, don't say it. I didn't, when I came up, and now this is really for everybody, but when I came up, I think I didn't appreciate my mother as much until I became a parent. Being a parent is one of the hardest jobs task I've ever tried to accomplish. I'm not even where I want to be with my children. And I look at every parent here. You gave up cleaning your house, cooking, preparing your meal for dinner tomorrow to be here to support your children. Every teacher that didn't have to be here took time away from their children to be here to support the kids. So I have learned to tell my children every day, I love you, have a great day, do what God expects you to do and what we've taught you as your parents. And children, take the time to just say, Mama, thank you. Grandma, thank you. Aunt Lucy, thank you. Neighbor Jones, thank you. Because somebody made a sacrifice to buy you a book bag, a pack of paper, burn gas to get here, give up a nap. A 15-minute nap is appreciated for any parent. And you don't understand fees to be in programs. That's a sacrifice for some parents. It doesn't matter how much or how little you make, just the time spending with your kids. So every now and then, children, say thank you, teacher, thank you, principal, thank you, mom, uncle. Somebody has made some sacrifice. It may not be who you want it to be, and it may not be what you want it to be. But I have learned to call my mother and just say, Mama, I don't know how you did it, but thank you. Thank you for what you did with the sacrifices you made to get me where I am. So I'm hoping as a parent I can do that more, because my mother did. Maybe she was tired. She could have been tired and just forgot to say, children, I love you. But I know she did it. So just, I'm learning to do that more, to say, kids, I love y'all. Thank y'all, have a good day. And children, if you can reciprocate that back, even if you just say it to your pastor, somebody, to learn how to say I love you to our community so we can hear that more. Amen.
Thank you. So I hope in hearing these things, is there anything that, since we're coming together, we want a consensus, is there anything on this list that we can't, we can't agree to?
All in favor?
All in favor. One last thing, and then the students have put together kind of a jigsaw poem, and that'll be our conclusion. I want to encourage students that we've talked about learning from the past, living in the present, but in planning for the future, to go beyond reality. Sometimes reality is just what we see and what's already been done. But I think that in dreaming, we need to allow our students to go past reality. I can remember being in school and saying, hey, I want to be president. And people saying, well, the likelihood of that will never happen. But someone, for the people that we've seen, not only our president, but for the people that we have seen in even the slideshow, decided to go beyond their reality. So I think that we have to be open to pushing past what we see, pushing past what we are at the moment, and realize that it can expand way beyond that. And so with that, we're going to end with our students who have put together, they actually worked on this in the group and came up with the lines and put it together in their own fashion. So we will end with this poem. Ms. Jones and I will allow this to be the last word, but we want to thank you. We want to say thank you for your support. Thank you for allowing our students to show and to express the things that are on their mind, and be able to share with you some of the things that they see and what they plan to do about it. All right? Also, we do want to let you know that we do have a mini expo out here. Some vendors and people in the community have and entrepreneurs have come in, and we would like for you to feel free to go ahead and support them. Also, as I mentioned at the beginning, your donation for the tickets is going toward our college spring tour. But if you are feeling touched, we try to keep the cost low, but this year we're going to Nashville, Atlanta, and Memphis, Tennessee. So we are going to be gone for several days. And so if you so feel that you would like to help contribute or sponsor, that money goes to help keep the costs low. And we still have spots available. So if you would like your child to be involved and attend that, we attend not only HBCUs, but we also attend public universities as well. All right, thank you. And again, I leave you with North Central's Black History Club.
Until we are not stopped because of our too fancy car.
Until we can walk into an expensive store and not be followed. Until our prisons are not filled with our enemies.
Until the streets are not filled with our men dead and alive.
Until our neighborhood are equipped with officers.
I am the dream. Our brotherhood of walking down the path of life.
I am the dream. I will fulfill my end of the bargain and not being okay with mediocre. I am the dream.
Thank you.
We look forward to seeing you next year.